So you decided to move to California and you want to live by the beach. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you the 7 things you need to know about owning a home by the beach in California. Let's get started right now. So if you guys are anything like me, you've always kind of dreamt about living by the beach one day. I have not had the opportunity to live directly on the beach, but one day I do hope to be as close to the beach as possible. And over my 19 years of living in California, I've learned a little bit about what it's like to live by the beach. The first thing you're gonna need to know are the maintenance costs of owning a home by the beach. Living by the water, you have to deal with all the elements. You're gonna have to deal with the salt water, the salt air, and this really takes a toll on your house. You're gonna have premium paints. You're gonna have your house painted more frequently, maybe every other year. The sea salt can really mess up the railings and the deck boards, and you're gonna have to refinish those more frequently. So actually I own a house up in Big Bear, which obviously is not near the ocean, but we have to deal with the elements like snow and that sort of thing, so we have to refinish our decks every now and then. But if you live by the beach, you're gonna have to deal with the sea salt air that can really corrode like windows, doors, decks, as I mentioned, railings. So these are all will come into play when you're owning a beachfront property or close. Even if you're not right on the beach, you're still gonna have to deal with a lot of these things moving forward. So just keep that in mind. Everything's gonna cost a little bit more. You're gonna have to upgrade things more frequently than you would a more inland house. So just keep that in mind. Number 2 on my list is should be number 1, because this definitely pertains to all of California, the California Coastal Commission. So this commission was created back in the 1970s. This was mainly enacted to give everyone in California or the United States access to the beach, even if you own a beach right on the land. They don't want to prevent people from enjoying what the beach has to offer here in California, which is a big selling point of living in California. So the problem with it is they are super, super strict on what you do with your house. Because even if you put up like a palm tree that wasn't supposed to be there and it's blocking someone's view from enjoying the beach, or a gate that would not protecting people, or if you want to change your balcony or your front porch, you have to get permission and permits from the California Coastal Commission, which is, from what I've heard, I've never actually had to physically deal with them because I don't own a house right by the beach, is they can be very strict on things. So it could be the smallest thing you would never even think of, and you wanted to change patio cover to your backyard or your front yard, and you have to get permission, and then they have people that will go through neighborhoods looking for people that have violated this, and they can fine you lots and lots of money. I've heard someone got fined $4 million for adding a gate to the side of their house. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to buy a fixer-upper along the beach and you're planning on doing all these plans to it, you're gonna have to deal with the California Coastal Commission, and it can be a real pain in the butt. So just know what you're getting into before you plan to do that. Number 3 is something we have to deal with all of California. Usually we have to worry more about fire insurance here in San Diego, but if you live along the coast, you obviously have to worry about flood insurance. We don't really have like tropical storms or hurricanes here for the most part, but you do have to take into account all these things, and insurance is definitely a very expensive thing here in San Diego, and it's only getting more expensive by the day. This also goes hand in hand with our next topic, which is natural disasters. Like I said, we don't really have hurricanes or tropical storms, but we do have earthquakes, which could lead to tsunamis. I think there's been 13 tsunamis over the last 150 years here in San Diego, which might not sound like a lot, but it only takes one tsunami to make a big problem for a lot of people and houses here in San Diego or anywhere along the California coast. So we haven't had one in a while. I think the last one we had, or at least the potential of one happening, was back in 2008, I think. There was a earthquake somewhere in the Pacific Ocean that caused it wasn't necessarily a tsunami. I'm not sure what the levels of tsunamis are, but it definitely caused a lot of waves and issues. And this is something you have to live with if you're gonna live on a beachfront property here in San Diego. Hopefully we never have a big tsunami that would hit the coast, but it's definitely a possibility. So another issue we have to deal with here in California and San Diego specifically is beach erosion and climate change. So they say by the year 2100, we might lose 3/4 of our beaches here in San Diego or in Southern California. So just keep that in mind. The closer you are to the beach is great, but each and every year you might be losing a little piece of that every day. So you might want to decide to live a little farther, maybe have an ocean view, but maybe not right on the beach, because this problem seems to be only getting worse over time. And it's definitely something you're gonna have to deal with if you were living here on the beach here in San Diego or beyond. Another thing you should also check out, because a lot of times when people buy beach houses or beach condos or whatever it is, it might not be your primary residence. Airbnb restrictions here have become prevalent, especially in San Diego. I know that there's also rules up in Los Angeles and Bay Area and Santa Barbara and that sort of thing. So just check your local jurisdictions, make sure you're well aware of what the rental restrictions are. San Diego just enacted one, I think it was about a year or two ago, about how many licenses they give out to short-term rentals. So if you plan on short-term renting out your new beachfront property, just make sure you know the laws ahead of time. I know San Diego has limited the amount of rentals they can do for short-term rentals, but they have not hit their max quota yet. So if you're looking to do that in San Diego, you still have time and you should still be able to get a permit, but just make sure there it is before you pull the trigger on that one. Make sure you can still get one. And last but not least, the things that you need to know about if you buy a house on the beach: privacy. If you're living right on the beach and there's public access to the beach, your privacy is probably gonna be somewhat limited, especially with the Coastal Commission. You can't build huge fences to block people's view, so people might be walking right by the back of your house or your condo or whatever it is. So if you're a very private person, beachfront properties might not be the best spot for you unless you have a very private section of the beach. But for the most part, anywhere in San Diego, you're gonna have people being able to walk behind your house. If you're over in Del Mar, right on the beach, people will be walking by there and you get a lot of people there, especially in the summer times. So like I said, if you're a very private person, beachfront properties might not be for you. So that is my 7 things you need to know about buying a home on the beach or close to the beach in San Diego or California. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. And if you guys are ever looking to buy or sell a beachfront property, I would clearly love to help you with that one. Thanks for watching and catch us next time. Bye.